Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Fanie Naude here, and welcome to another one of my Monday videos. Today we are going to be talking about, why your current clients are not respecting you and why every single client you sign up is not respecting you or your accounting firm. So first of all, I'm Fanie Naude. I am the Managing Director for BuzzNet Direct, where we help accounting firms that's struggling with marketing and sales to attract their ideal clients with value within 14 days. So guys, in this video, we are going to touch upon, your entire sales process. We're going to talk about stuff like pricing, onboarding process, communication, service delivery, all of those sort of things, and everything ties in with respect and how you deal with each situation. And that's very, very important that you kick off on the right foot, because if you lose the respect of your prospects that turn into clients, there's a very long, difficult road that's going to be that you're going to be walking. So don't fall into that trap. So stay tuned for the rest of this video. Okay guys, so let's jump right into the video and say, okay, great. What do you do? We're not going to talk about marketing here. We're not going to talk about those sort of things at the moment, because at this stage where the respect comes in, it starts off with your first call. That usually you guys call it a discovery call, where you need to find a little bit more out about the guy's business, what he's going through, what sort of things he's interested in, what does he want, that sort of thing. We call it a strategy session or a sales call, where we basically go through a deep dive of the business. We go through exactly the current situation, what they're going through. We go through exactly where they want to be going, their desired situation, and then finally we build the bridge between them with us as the bridge or the vehicle that can take them from the current to the desired situation. Now, there's a lot of accounting practices that just love to sell services and just love to, just give everything up front and so forth. So I just want you guys to imagine this, and we love to use this example of doctors because it's very easy to understand. Most people has seen a doctor in their life and know exactly how they operate, and most people have respect for doctors. I know this might be a little bit less these days because of COVID, but at this stage, most people still respect doctors. They went through a lot to get where they are today, and you have inherent respect for them. Or that's maybe what you think at the moment. Maybe it's because of that, MD or, the DR before the name or so forth, and you just automatically have the respect. But that's not necessarily true. If you're thinking about how a doctor's process works, every single phase of that sales process, you can say, have a built-in respect. So first of all, when do you get an appointment for a doctor? Do you just call your nearest doctor and say, I want to come in today at 2? It's like, sorry, but we're not open then, or we don't have a spot for you. These are the available spots for you at this stage. So immediately they're going to tell you, okay, these are the spots we have left. We're not going to make time for you. So that's the thing, like, we are busy, we are professionals. Sorry, we don't have openings when you would like to come in. So come in at the next available time. So that's the first thing. Now, on the session itself, do they, come in and they're like, okay, great, this is what you need, go ahead? Or do they first have like a conversation with you, asking you, what's going on? Tell me a little bit about your health, what you're going through, what's the problems you're experiencing? How are you eating? How are you sleeping? What sort of pains and aches and stuff do you have? And what's your habits? They usually have this conversation. And it's basically the same conversation that you're having with a business owner with his business, because you want to know, how's cash flow, how are you doing this, or how many clients do you have, what's your main products, how do you sell them, what sort of processes or systems do you have in place. So it's basically the same system, but a lot of accountants don't go through that process of learning an in-depth understanding of that person's situation. In the first case, they basically just say, we do accounting. If you want to work with us, we do accounting for you. Like, it's very necessary to have that first conversation of what's actually going on. And then the doctor also goes through, your desired situation. So the pains and the problems that you have at the moment, okay, great, you want to be healthy. You want to be healthy at the end of the day. So you're not going to come into the doctor and tell him, I need this, I need this, I need this. Like, I need that medicine, I need this massage, and I need this counseling. You're not going to go and tell the doctor what you need or what you want. You're not going to tell him, these are the things that you need to give me. Like, the doctor is just not going to respect that. He's going to say, sorry, but it's going to be medical malpractice. If I just give you what you want, we first need to do, basically analysis of you or differential to see exactly what's going on. We first need to have a discussion. I first need to, do an exam on you, like a physical exam, to just see what's happening. They're not going to just give you what you want. So if a client comes to you and tells you, I need accounting, I need payroll, I need this, I need that, and you're like, okay, great, I'm going to give you that. Like, you're wondering why the client doesn't respect you. Like, he's just coming in and making it a transaction. Like, it's the thing, like, okay, maybe this is not right for you. Maybe if you want to do some advisory and consulting with that, like, maybe there's different options. You first need to learn the guy's business. Then, once you've done with the entire strategy of finding out exactly where they are, where they want to be going, what does a doctor do? He tells you, okay, great, these are the sort of medicines that I recommend. I recommend you do this. And let's say, for example, it's outside of his scope. He says, okay, great, I'm just going to refer you to this specialist, or I'm going to refer you to this guy. He's better than this than I am. And, he basically gives you recommendations. It's not the law. You can go and get a second opinion. That is your right. And if you tell the doctor, sorry, this is not going to work for me, I'm not going to do this, give me something else, he's going to tell you, go and get a second opinion from another doctor. This is my professional recommendation. I'm not going to change that just because you want me to. Like, that's very, very simple. And it's basically medical malpractice if you just give in to the patient. Now, if you're thinking about your strategy session where the guy's like, no, I do not need this, I don't want that, and I'm not going to do this, all I want is this, just give me this. Or, like, no, I want this and I'm not going to pay that price, or stuff like that. It's like, you cannot just give in to the demands of your client. Like, it's not, you are the professional. So if you go through this process, you'll immediately see what your client wants. That means he wants to go from current to desired situation. That's what he wants. And you're going to sell him what he needs. Like, you're going to give him what he needs. You're going to sell him what he wants, give him what he needs. So let's say, for example, someone wants to increase his cash flow or better manage his cash flow. And he's like, I want better cash flow. I don't want to sit with cash flow problems ever again. And I want that. Then you're going to implement the systems. You're going to implement the cash flow procedures. You're going to implement all of those sort of things for him because that's what he needs. The client is not the expert in that situation. So you should be giving him what he needs, but you should sell him the desired situation. Cash flow sorted. Cash flow sorted is what he wants, and the systems that needs to be implemented is what he needs. And then, okay, let's say, for example, the doctor says, okay, great, these are my recommendations, and okay, this is the price. Do you ever negotiate price with a doctor? Like, seriously, I've never met someone that has negotiated the price for a doctor and said, sorry, your consultation is too expensive. These medications are too expensive. I'm not going to do this. You need to drop your price for me. Like, I understand there's certain situations where hospitals and emergency rooms and so forth cheat you and so forth, but this is for either a GP or a specialist. Do you ever negotiate price with them? And are they cheap? Like, are they cheap? Like, let's say, for example, you go to a doctor, he solves all your problems, and he says, oh, it's just going to be $100. You're going to be like, what? Like, how am I so lucky? How this is so inexpensive? Usually it's thousands upon thousands. If you go to a specialist, he's going to charge you like, I think, 20 grand or 25 grand per operation. That's non-negotiable. If you don't want to pay that, go to someone else. Exactly that. So that's immediately, you cannot be cheap if you want respect, especially, and if you want to survive, actually, just don't be cheap. Like, don't compete on price, because if you compete on price, you're going to attract price hunters. The guys that's going to leave you for the accounting practice down the road who charges 20 rand less. That's no loyalty, no respect. He's going to treat you like cheap. He's going to treat you like a cheap product. Like, that's not what you want. You want to be expensive because You are an expert. You are a professional. So you need to act like one. You need to present yourself like one and say, okay, well, if it's going to be a minimum of 5,000 per month, it's going to be a minimum of 5,000 per month. You're not going to negotiate on that. It's like if you want something else, you want someone else. Sorry, this is what I charge for my expertise. I am good. I am an expert in my field. I am a specialist in these sort of things. And I'm not going to go and charge you $1,000 just because I'm desperate. Because that's what it screams. If you negotiate down, sure, the thunder is bad. If you want to negotiate down, that sends a signal of, you know, you are easy to break. It's very cheap. You're not respecting your price. All of those sort of things. If you really make an example of, you know, negotiating down with someone and really tries to help them, it should come off as that. It should not come off as desperate, because otherwise it just screams desperate. So don't be cheap. Don't compete on price. And, you know, make it very, very obvious on, you know, how you price. Do you price on the value that you give them? Like, do you price on the value of your different systems, what that's going to be on the service itself? And do you take in consideration the value that it's for them? How much value do they see in going from their current situation to the desired situation? Is there a monetary value that you can put to that? All the frustrations and time that they currently need to spend because they have a paper system, or they don't have an invoice system, or, you know, all of the financial stress because they don't know how to manage the cash flow and all of those sort of things. Do you take that in consideration, or are you like, okay, well, other accountants charge like 1,500 or 2,000, so I'm going to charge 1,000. Like, I'm going to penetrate the market. I'm just going to get myself in there. Like, that doesn't work. That's a great way to cut your own throat or shoot yourself in the foot, just because you're not going to survive. You're going to be overwhelmed with bad clients, a lot of work, and you're not going to make any profit, and you're just going to work yourself to death. And suddenly it's going to be like, man, I wish I had some ideal clients. Man, I wish I had. Oh, I wish I had. I wish I had. So that's the first thing. That's the sales call itself. So what does it? So just to summarize the sales call: define their current situation and the desired situation. Build the bridge between them as yourself, as the bridge or the vehicle that's going to take them from where they are now to where they want to go. Price according to value, especially according to value, and qualify with hourly pricing if you're going to go above and beyond with your pricing. And don't negotiate down if there's not a specific reason to do that. Okay, so that's the first thing. So now, what's the onboarding process in your practice like? Okay. Are you going to say, okay, when's the best time for you? And maybe tell me how you want to do this, or okay, what's going to be the easiest for you? And, you know, if a doctor says, okay, great, let's go and we need to do this operation for you. Okay, so he's going to tell you, okay, I operate on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The next opening slot is in 2 weeks, or in 4 weeks, or in 2 months. That's the next slot. How it's going to work is you're going to come in very early that morning. You're going to be prepared. You're not going to eat the previous night. You're going to fill out all of these forms to make sure everything is correct. Your insurance needs to be up to date, or your medical scheme needs to be up to date. It's going to be laying down the law. Like, that's how it works. Do you ever tell the doctor, sorry, that's just too much trouble, and I don't want to fill out all of these forms, and oh man, those dates, it doesn't really fit me. Can't you just do it on a Monday, or maybe on the weekend? Maybe just do it on the weekend. Do you ever negotiate on those things with a doctor or a specialist going to do an operation? You just don't. There's inherent respect, because he lays down the law of this is how it works. And if you don't want this, get a second opinion. Go find yourself a specialist that work on weekends if you really want your thing done on a weekend. But sorry, we operate Tuesdays, Thursdays, that's it. And it's not going to be like, okay, so can you just do me quickly in the morning that I could go home? No. You're going to fit in with the operating schedule where we place you. Everybody needs to arrive at 6. And we're going to do operations the entire day, and you will be called upon when it's your turn. It's a whole different thing of how to think about, you know, your onboarding process. Because if your onboarding process is like this, okay, great, how it's going to be is, okay, let's say, for example, Carla or Sarah, whatever, does the onboarding. So you're going to have to give us some permissions for your bank, and for those you need to sign these documents and so forth. And okay, so how it's going to work is your onboarding session is then. This is going to be the time. We need to go and complete all of these sort of things. Come prepared to the meeting. You need these forms for that meeting. You need to do this. This is going to be everything that you need to submit beforehand, and afterwards, this is how it's going to work. Do you have a standard process like that? Or do you just wing it? Do you just like, okay, maybe tomorrow or the day after, when's going to be perfect for you? And okay, I know it's awkward about the banking stuff. So, you know, if you don't really want to do this, we can always find a workaround. Or, you know, it's always that thing of like, there's no respect. There's no demanding respect of, okay, this is how this works. We have done this 1,000 times before. You're going to be 1001, and this is how it works. This is a standard process. You need to fit in with this. And if the person says, no, sorry, I cannot do this, it's like, okay, this is the next available time for us. It's not going to be, when do you have time? It's going to be like, this is the available time. Most people respect this, otherwise they would not go to doctors. You still need that service. You still want to go from that current to desired situation. So have a standard process for onboarding. Very, very, very important. Then service delivery. Like, do you set down the law of, okay, this is how it's going to work per month. This is when you need to submit your details. These stuff needs to be on time every single time. We do not accept late deliverables. We do not accept responsibility for any late submissions if it's not done by this date. Like, do you have a standard service delivery process? It is like, okay, we speak every 2 weeks or we speak every week or so forth, and that's going to be the time. Like, you need something standard. You cannot go to a specialist and tell him, okay, well, I want my operation on Monday, 9 o'clock in the morning, and please do it without me signing any forms. You cannot do that. You cannot negotiate the service delivery with a doctor. You can find a second opinion with other standard service delivery, but you won't be negotiating with them. You just won't. It's just there's not going to be possible. Then another thing with service delivery, a big part of it is communication. There's a lot of clients that just decides, okay, I am the client and I can do whatever I want, and I will call you and demand stuff of you absolutely anytime, anywhere, whatever thing I want. I'm just going to call you and you need to jump. Like, that's not how it works. How can you just call a specialist now and tell him, hey, I want this? First of all, there's going to be a gatekeeper. You were going to get a receptionist. He's probably going to be busy. He's not just going to take your call. Even if it's a GP, you cannot just call a GP up and tell him, hey, I want this. Or no, you call him 11 o'clock in the night and say, hey, I want this right now. Like, why do you let your clients do that with you? Why do you let your clients call you after hours? Why do you let your clients just walk all over you and demand stuff from you at any time, anytime? Like, you need to lay down the law from day one. Like, this is how a service delivery is going to come. Your main method of communication is going to be with that person. He's your account manager, and you can only contact him within business hours. If there is an emergency, this is what you do. This is what we do in emergency. If you have requests, you do it via email in this format. Like, it's not going to be like, okay, that's your account manager. Please contact him anytime, anywhere. He's going to be your dedicated person, and he's going to just jump when you say jump. You cannot do that. The person's going to immediately just abuse that person. Like, you just cannot do that. There needs to be respect. There needs to be respect with that communication. So just to summarize this entire thing is, if you are tired of, your clients not respecting you and, not respecting your staff and not respecting your industry, because there's so many clients that just don't see the value in accountants, and they just see you guys as, I'm just going to let my accountant do this. I'm just going to, you're creating this yourself. You're creating this yourself. If you're not laying down the law from day one, it's not going to work out. Like, it's just not. Even if you're a small practice, don't be desperate. Nobody respects desperate. Don't be desperate. Don't be. You're a professional, so start acting like it. Lay down the law, have standard processes, have certain things that is acceptable and things that's not acceptable, and tell it upfront to the client. Don't wait a month until first submissions or first VAT submissions need to come in, and suddenly the guy's delivering his stuff late, and you thought, oh man, this was just such a nice guy, I thought he's going to do his stuff. You need to tell him to do the stuff. You need to tell him to send the deliverables on time. You need to tell him this, and you need to tell him the consequences of not doing it. Because if you like it, if you like this or not, you can fire your clients, and you should most probably fire a bunch of your clients because they're wasting your time, treating your staff with disrespect. So many things, sending their stuff late, making your life miserable. Like, you cannot be dealing with this all the time. It's very toxic for your mentality, how you think of it, how you run your practice, how you run everything. If a client calls you 11 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock at night, your next day is ruined because it messed up your sleep. Don't sit with this, guys. Don't do this. Lay down the law, demand respect, and treat yourself with respect. If you talk about your accounting practices, just another accounting practice and we do a few things. No. Have pride in your accounting practice and the work that you do, because it is valuable. It truly is valuable. You can brag about the value that you give to your clients in the sense of, we took this business and we partnered with them and we helped them grow, and now it's this great business. And we took these guys, we standardized and built some systems and standardized processes, and suddenly everything is running smoothly and they're making like 500% more profit, something along those lines. It's something crazy, because I've heard those stories. We have some accountants that we're working with that do deliver that result, so I know it's possible. Be proud of what you do, and have some self-respect and demand that respect from your clients. And believe me, as soon as you do this, you're going to start attracting the people that want to work with a professional. They want to work with an accounting practice that knows their value. So guys, that's what I want to be saying, and I really hope that this created some value for you guys. I know I went off on a tangent and it started raining and everything went crazy, but I really wanted to get this out there because we're dealing with a lot of accountants. It's very negative, and I really want you guys to accounting just because you like numbers and you like to do this every single day. Like, you truly have a passion for the sort of things that you do, and you don't need to be negative the whole time. You don't need to be miserable. You don't need to let those clients walk all over you. So I really hope this helped. And start working on it. Start working on that sales process, the onboarding process, and the service delivery process that you have built in expectations, and lay down the law very quickly. So guys, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your week.